I'm also enthused by some of the observations made earlier that we are finding that there is great amount of interest outside India in the Indian market. I fully endorse it, and there are data to support it, that foreigners are taking interest in our market, in our economy. But I am also worried that while on the one hand we are having very robust FII flows, why is it that the domestic flows are either stagnant or negative? Some of the things which all of us notice, but just to set the context, you might be noticing that if you look at the 1980s and the savings rate in the country was less than 20%, it went up to 23%, then it further went up, it crossed 30%, and it had its peak around 37, 38%. Again, it has started coming down. And you all know that the household savings used to constitute about 3/4 of the total domestic savings. That percentage has also come down to around 70%. From about 75%, it has come down to 70%. And amongst the household savings, we are finding that the share of financial products as a percentage has started coming down. From a high of about 55%, it has come down to around 35, 36%. So the question we must deliberate, and I have gone through the total schedule of the meetings that you have today. You have excellent sessions, you have excellent speakers, and I am sure you will be able to deliberate on these issues and come out with your recommendations. And those recommendations which concern SEBI, I am sure like in the past you will be sending it to us. But you know, the general perception is that there are villains, and those villains are taking away the investments into the financial markets. And the two villains are real estate and gold. Yes, partially that is correct. But to say that the lack of investment into the market is being explained by investment in gold or investment in real estate does not give the complete picture. I think the story has to be taken to its full length, and there may be other areas about which we should start worrying. One area that I would like to point out, and it concerns me as a regulator, and it concerns all of you as citizens of this country or as intermediaries or players in the market or as pure investors, is the rapid development of a grey market in investment in this country. I'm not sure whether you have understood the dimensions of what is happening today. And the audacity with which it is happening, the frequency with which it is happening, is something all of us must take note of. I would like to tell you that the people who are investing in these products are simple, ordinary workers. They are not putting their illegal or illicit money into this. They are putting their hard-earned money into this. But the process through which it is being channelized is unfortunately taking that whole money out of the legal framework, out of the market. There is a famous case, I need not name it, where a particular company has claimed that it has refunded more than 20,000 crores to so-called investors, out of which more than 90% has been returned in cash. I would like all of you to ponder and think how feasible, how credible this story can be. That more than 20,000 crores have been refunded over a period of maybe 3-4 months, not over a period of 5 years or so, and that money has been returned. 90% and more than 90% has been returned through cash. I am aware of things which are happening, for example, in West Bengal. More than 10,000 crores of money has been raised by so-called money circulation schemes, or people who, in our opinion, are running collective investment schemes, but they are refusing to be under any sort of regulation, and they are completely out of bounds so far. I'll explain to you what we are trying to do about them, but I'm trying to first tell you the dimension that we are facing. I met the chief minister of one particular state in the northeast, and he told me that one particular company was able to raise, more than 1,000 crore from his estate in 1 year, whereas the total assets under management of entire mutual fund industry in that particular estate is around 900 crores. One company was able to raise 1,000 crore in 1 year, and if you start counting from 1964 when UTI was created, so we are talking of more than 4 decades, and the entire AUM is 900 crores. So when we choose to ignore these things, I don't think we are going to get the complete picture about why investments are not happening and where are the savings going. This is actually a very serious matter. In 1998-99, the Parliament came out with a new section in the SEBI Act, and Section 11AA was added, providing for collective investment schemes to be managed and regulated by SEBI. But by design, that section has several exceptions. Nidhi schemes are exempted. Chit funds are exempted. Cooperatives are exempted. And in many of these areas, state governments have also got their rights and jurisdictions. Unfortunately, that seriousness is not coming about. I'd also like to tell you that people are coming out with such ridiculous schemes. I don't know, you have heard of this bird called emu. So there is a scheme on emu farming, there is a scheme on goat farming, and hundreds and thousands of crores are being raised through that. However, SEBI has taken note of it. We must have started prosecution or action against dozens of companies like this. We have been writing to the state governments. We have been fighting court cases. One particular example I'd like to tell you is that as per the SEBI Act passed by the Parliament of this country, any quasi-judicial action taken by SEBI can be appealed before the Securities Appellate Tribunal. And against that tribunal's order, you can go to the Supreme Court. So on the appellate side, on any action done by SEBI on the appellate side, even the high courts do not have jurisdiction. I'm not contesting the jurisdiction of high courts in the normal course, and including in matters, for example, the writ jurisdiction. But otherwise, it is SEBI, SAT, and Supreme Court. And I have examples where at least 7 district courts in the state of West Bengal have passed injunction orders against SEBI. So while on the one hand the legal position is very clear as passed by the Parliament, district courts have passed orders against SEBI. When we have said that such and such company can't raise this money, they must stop raising the money, they must return the money, they have got injunctions against the district courts. I'm happy to tell you that we have got now those injunctions vacated. We obviously had to go to the High Court and the Supreme Court, and we got our way. But in the process, what has happened, that they continued with their activities. So more and more workers, more and more savers came into that fold. Unfortunately, that could not be stopped. You might be aware that there is a law called the Price Cheats and Money Circulation Banning Act of 1978. You will be surprised that while the act was passed in 1978, an order, a rule regarding what is called the disguised money circulation scheme, that rules were framed only in 2012, while the law was passed in 1978. And that also happened after SEBI took it again and again and again. So that has now been passed. The rule has now been framed. And let us look at what is being offered. I was in Kolkata recently, and I was told by industry captains, I had a meeting with the CII there, I had a meeting with another chamber there, and they told me that the agents are charging up to 15% to 25%. That is the commission that they are charging. And these schemes are offering that their money will be doubled in 3 years. You ask yourself that what legitimate business activity in our country can generate this sort of a return, where initially 25% is going out as a commission, and in spite of that in 3 years the money is getting doubled. What is going to be the outcome? The outcome is going to be that people are going to lose that money. So I want to mention all this because there is a strong need today to create awareness about these matters. And that awareness is unfortunately lacking. And I also must tell you that already there are now moves and developments in various parts of the country where people have now started protesting. So it is no longer a matter to be discussed in a seminar like this. There is a place called Alipurduar, and in Alipurduar, some guy was running a scheme where he had promised, can you believe, that the entire money will be doubled in 15 days? Doubled in 15 days. And what has